With over a dozen games in the series, Super Mario Party has been the go-to for Nintendo fans when it comes to party video games. Even if you aren't the biggest Nintendo fan, you have likely played a Super Mario Party game somewhere down the line. While many have tried, there simply isn't another party game like it. Stealing stars, beating your family members at minigames, and all the light-hearted competition that comes with it is a staple for the series. But while there have been many Super Mario Party games, they have all kind of been good and others okay. Some feel like they miss out on certain features, and the core board game mode has often been criticized by hardcore fans for being too loose on its rules and bonus star system, essentially making the game more casual than anything else. Super Mario Party Jamboree wants to fix all these issues and at the same time be the biggest Super Mario Party game to date. I'm happy to report that it succeeds in many ways and more. Not only does Super Mario Party Jamboree deliver the biggest and most exciting game in the series, but its fleshed out Mario Party mode, dedicated single player campaign and excellent Cathlon mode make this the most relevant Super Mario Party game on the Switch. Honestly, going into Super Mario Party Jamboree, I expected less. Nintendo has dropped the ball in past games on the Switch, be it by completely leaving out motion games to include the Nintendo Switch Lite's limited capabilities, or releasing previous games with smaller minigames and fewer boards. Super Mario Party Jamboree is crammed full of content, so much so that even as a solo player, there's so much to do here outside of the traditional board game mode. It is almost as if Nintendo took every critique from past games and fixed the issue in Jamboree. You can now turn off motion minigames, play an adorable single player campaign, participate in large scale marathons both online and offline, and best of all, there are hundreds of minigames here. Some minigames are designed specifically for certain modes too. Jamboree kept surprising me. However, the biggest surprise of all is the new Pro Rules mode that you'll find in the Super Mario Party game mode. No joke here, the Pro Rules mode isn't playing games. After playing through the Pro mode a couple of times, I can tell you that Jamboree will likely become like that old box of Monopoly that you haul out every now and then because it offers great family and friend time without gimmicks. The Pro mode is that refined. It is the mode that you'll always return to when you want to play a video game board game without worrying about the bonus stars and how the game's often unbalanced mechanics screw you over. This is the mode for those real pros who want a dedicated no-nonsense experience. It is rather superb. First off, you are welcome to a 15-page document detailing the new strict rules. Pro Rules is limited to 12 rounds and only one bonus star, which you as a team can choose at the start of the game. This means there's an alternative objective everyone can go after, and they'll know how to earn it. You can also choose the items you can find and buy, and these items have limited quantities for sale. You'll also choose what rewards you get when you land on certain spaces. The best part of Pro Rules is the lack of randomness. There are no more hidden blocks, minigames are voted for by the players, and the home stretch no longer triggers changes across the board. The star spot is also fixed at certain spots on each board, so it gives players the opportunity to strategize around their movements. These might not sound like big changes, but they are actually a pretty big deal for the series. Pro Rules sort of takes Super Mario Party Jamboree into a whole competitive genre now, and I absolutely love the mode. You can now get good at Super Mario Party by dedicating time and effort to the game's boards and mechanics, something that was quite limited in previous games. Outside of the Pro Rules, there's a lot to love about Jamboree too. The boards are incredibly fun with 7 boards in total. Each one puts an emphasis on a specific mechanic. Rainbow Galleria is a shopping center with a large focus on items. You'll obtain more items thanks to all the extra shops scattered around the board, and the smaller board with multi-layered floors adds confusion to the mix. Goomba Lagoon has an ever-changing path due to the rising water levels. The grapple slides mean you can also get around much faster and cut movement times in half. Mega Wiggler's Tree Party is a bit basic, but I think it is meant to be a starter board. Wiggler moves around when you ring the bell, and you can also purchase a bell item to trigger the movements. I did enjoy every board. I do have some favorites, but there's enough variety on offer here. Each board comes with its own mechanics to learn and some cool surprises too. Even if you only have to play each board once, you'll spend hours alone in Jamboree. Minigames are what they are, minigames. Some are incredibly detailed while others last just a few seconds. Each one is colourful and ooze the typical Super Mario charm we expect from the game. I did enjoy the mix between the motion and the button games. It always kept me guessing what we would encounter, although the motion games are still my favourite. One big surprise was the Jamberry Buddy minigames. When you encounter a Jamberry Buddy on the board, all players need to participate in a themed minigame to get that buddy on their side. I expected a short game here, but I got the complete opposite. These games lasted well over 5 minutes and were carefully crafted to the character. Luigi, for example, saw us explore a haunted mansion which spanned across a series of rooms. In each room we had to complete a puzzle. There are 10 rooms in total, and the first player to get out of the last room had Luigi join them on the board. Given the sheer number of Jamberry Buddies in the game, you'll likely encounter a new fleshed out minigame for weeks after picking Jamberry up. It is just another excellent addition to the game that pads it with even more content. Speaking of content outside of the board game, Super Mario Party Jamboree has a lot to do, and most of it doesn't feel like padded nonsense. The single player campaign saw me trek across each board to help prepare for a party. I could move freely across the boards, chat with characters and complete objectives. These objectives were often fetch and return quests, but there were in between minigames and cinematics that explained certain board mechanics. Yes, the single player mode is essentially just a glorified tutorial for the game's boards, but it does work. It was something cool to do when my family and friends weren't around to play Jamboree, and I actually enjoyed the fact that Nintendo included this mode in the game. Rhythm Kitchen is then a cooking game where I had to perform certain motions to chop vegetables, mix cream, make sandwiches and other dishes. The music is catchy and the motion movements were surprisingly on point. It got much tougher than I thought it would too, so much so that the later modes had me sweating while I tried to knock a cherry into a bowl of ice cream, all while listening to the music of the game. Sure, the mode's lifespan isn't going to last long, but it is fun to do with new players. Toad's Item Factory then had me take away Toad's job. We then had to use precise movements of the Joy-Con to move platforms, lift blocks, rotate levers to get a ball from one part of the stage to the next. Each player is assigned a set of blocks and you have to communicate with one another to get this whole process perfected. After each stage, you then manufacture an item which is used in the board game mode. So this factory is the place where all the items are made. I thought the concept was really cute and the motion movements made it quite enjoyable too. Paratrooper Fly School is a 1 or 2 player mode where you fly around a series of floating islands using 2 Joy-Cons. Flying isn't easy, you really have to flap your arms up and down to get the momentum and soar around through the air by tilting the controller up and down. There's enough here to keep you busy too. The Explore mode has mechanics that you can interact with and achievements to unlock which go towards your profile level. There are also some game modes. One had me and a friend acting as a sky taxi as we picked up characters and had to deliver them around the map. Cathlon is likely my favorite mode outside of the board games. Here I raced across a map against opponents. There are 150 spaces to move and each coin you collect moves you 1 space up. The minigames are then designed completely different from the board game. You earn coins, of course. So while you're focusing on the map, you're also playing minigames to move up spaces. As you lap around the map, these minigames get harder and faster. All this while other players are tossing negative effects your way, like the good old blooper that covers your screen with ink. It is quite frantic and I can't wait to play this online with other players. Lastly, there's Bowser's Kaboom Squad. This mode is a team-focused mode where I had to run around the map and collect bombs which came out of crates that I smashed open. These bombs were then carried to a cannon and shot at Bowser, who was constantly running around the map chasing players down. The mode includes items that help the combat and mini-games that reward teams with more items. I was surprised at how detailed this mode was and how long each round lasted. Each battle went on for well over 20 minutes and delivered an exhilarating time, especially at the higher difficulties. The only bummer about Cathlon and the Kaboom Squad is the lack of local multiplayer, but you can take your online friends with you after you create a room. Outside of all this, Super Mario Party Jamboree kept surprising me with more content. I could decorate my party plaza with items I obtained in the single player campaign, purchase music, reactions and stickers. All of this expanded as I earned new achievements and increased my rank. Granted, I was already on rank 31 by the time I wrote this review, but there are some tough achievements that I would likely never get to. There have been big Super Mario Party games in the past, but Jamboree definitely takes the cake. Not only is it feature packed, but the core board game mode is better than ever now, thanks to the pro rules. Jamboree is the party game fans have asked for, and Nintendo delivered that and so much more. I think the fact that we're getting this game so far to the end of the Switch life cycle is another testament to Nintendo's love for its fans. Simply put, this is the greatest Super Mario Party game ever made. So those are my thoughts on Super Mario Party Jamboree. Are you picking the game up? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks to Nintendo for sending a review code my way to test out. I really had the best time, and everybody who comes to visit is going to be forced to play Super Mario Party Jamboree at this point. While you're here, please do consider liking and subscribing for future content, and visit glitch.online for more gaming tech news and reviews. Until next time, farewell.